So, a very good afternoon to all of you. Big hi to all of you. हमें यकीन है कल तक परसों तक जो हो गया था वो कल पूरी दिन छुट्टी थी। उस एक दिन में आप अभी तक जो भी हुआ है वो सब भूल गए हैं। करेक्ट ना? इवन गर्ल्स ऑल्सो रिमेंबर. इट्स ओके. सो लास्ट टिल लास्ट लेक्चर हमने क्या कहा था? सिंपल इंटरेस्ट वाज द फर्स्ट टाइप. Simple interest was the first type. Compound interest was the second type. Compound interest, but compounded being done monthly, quarterly, half yearly, that was another concept. And the fourth concept was of what? Effective rate of interest. Now I want your attention. Look at me. Suppose you purchase a calculator for 100 rupees. When do you pay 100 rupees? Today. So what is 100 rupees? Present value. And therefore the present value is equal to rupees 100. Tell me what is the, suppose I say that you use the calculator. You use the calculator, you have already used the calculator in the first attempt. You will use the same calculator in the second attempt. You will use the calculator in the third attempt as well. And then after these attempts, suppose you decide to sell that calculator once you know that now you are going to be only BCom. And BCom is become. So you want to sell the calculator. But till then a new student has taken the admission and he wants to purchase the calculator. So you are the seller, he is the buyer or she is the buyer. But if she is the buyer, she won't be the buyer because you will gift her. Na? बेचेंगे नहीं ना? So suppose you want to sell that calculator, now you will sell that calculator for 150 rupees. You will sell that calculator for 150 rupees. Why? Because your calculator is an experience calculator. It has got an experience of 3 attempts. Correct, na? So you will sell the calculator for the higher value, na? You will sell the calculator ज़्यादा price में ना? ज़्यादा प्राइस में बेचेंगे ना? कैलकुलेटर एक्सपीरियंस्ड है ना? बॉयफ्रेंड अगर एक्सपीरियंस है तो जिसकी ज़्यादा कीमत रहेगी ना? पहले वाले बहुत सारे एक्सपीरियंस उसके पास है. क्या होगा? वैल्यू बढ़ेगी या कम होगी? बॉयफ्रेंड की नहीं, फिर कैलकुलेटर की. Why? Because the calculator will fall down many times. Calculator will be subject to so many damages, and therefore there will be the devaluation of the value of the calculator. That devaluation, that reduction in the value is the depreciation. आपको जब तक डेप्रीसिएशन नहीं समझता तब तक आप प्रैक्टिसिंग चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हो नहीं सकते. बिकॉज स्पेशली इफ यू आर प्रैक्टिसिंग इन द डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस, अगर इनकम टैक्स कैलकुलेट करना है तो जो कंपनी की एसेट्स होती है, फर्नीचर हो, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक गुड्स हो, उसका डेप्रीसिएशन, बिल्डिंग हो, डेप्रीसिएशन कैलकुलेट करने के बाद वो जो डेप्रीसिएशन होता है दैट इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी द लॉस ऑफ इनकम, दैट इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी द एक्सपेंडिचर. और उसमें इनकम टैक्स वो सेव होता है बिफोर यू कंप्यूट योर टैक्सेबल इनकम. तो डेप्रिसिएशन नहीं समझेगा तो फिर चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंसी में एक बड़ा एरिया आपके हाथ से फिसल जाएगा। तो डेप्रिसिएशन का कंसेप्ट समझो, जो अकाउंट्स में भी आता है, आया है, पर कोई समझा नहीं है, तो अभी कंसेप्ट समझो। दैट वैल्यू ऑफ दैट कैलकुलेटर विल गो डाउन। Imagine that the rate of reduction, rate of depreciation is 10% per annum. So tell me, after 1 year, how much is the reduction means depreciation? How much is the reduction means depreciation? 10% of 100 is 10 rupees. So reduction is of 10 rupees. And after that reduction, what is remaining is called the depreciated value. ये दोनों में का फर्क समझो. Depreciation is the reduction, and after that reduction, what value remains is the depreciated value will be 90 rupees. Now in the second year, now in your books of account, what is the value of that calculator? 90 rupees. So in the second year, the depreciation will not be computed on the original price of 100 rupees. Original 100 rupees पे depreciation calculate नहीं होगा, but it will be calculated on the new value, reduced value, depreciated value, and therefore now the depreciation is going to be 9 rupees. And therefore, what is the depreciated value? That depreciated value will be rupees 81. Now if you sell your calculator, you will be selling that calculator for 81 rupees. You will not be selling it for 121 rupees. Value will not inflate. But if you consider real estate, there the value will inflate, there the value will appreciate. So that will not be depreciating commodity, it will be the appreciating commodity. समझा? And therefore रियल एस्टेट में हम जो करते हैं उसे इन्वेस्टमेंट कहा जाता है. Why? Because it is going to be appreciating. But मैंने ये अगर समझो मोबाइल फोन लिया तो उसमें इसको इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं कहेंगे, ये इस हिसाब से वो एक्सपेंडिचर कहा जाएगा क्योंकि उसकी वैल्यू रिड्यूस होगी, नंबर 1. और दूसरा एंगल उसको देखने का ऐसा है कि वो होगा मेरे लिए, वो एसेट है. Why? Because it is required for my business. करेक्ट ना? सो इन दैट कॉन्टेक्स्ट इट विल बी ट्रीटेड टू बी इन्वेस्टमेंट. बट आपके लिए इतने मॉडर्न कैलकुलेटर की, इतने सोफिस्टिकेटेड मोबाइल फोन की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. समझा ना? आपको सिर्फ क्या चाहिए, फोन आना, करना और मैसेज भेजना, इतना काफी है आपके लिए. एट द मोस्ट व्हाट्सएप, बराबर ना? उसमें नहीं वो पैक डाला, इंटरनेट पैक डाला, क्योंकि वीडियो ऐसे दिखते हैं कि जो नहीं देखना चाहिए. You see what you should not. Correct, na? I want to check. Keep your mobile phones here. After the lecture, I will check the search history of each one's calculator, each one's mobile phone. चलेगा क्या? सीक्रेट्स खुल जाएंगे? हाँ क्या है? क्यों फेल हो गए तुम पहले अटेम्प्ट में? इसका रीजन समझेगा सर्च हिस्ट्री में. All right. Jokes apart, lighter part apart, but try to understand. Depreciation is calculated on the new value, remaining value. हाँ, अगर वो ओरिजिनल वैल्यू पे हर ईयर में कैलकुलेट होता है तो दैट विल बी लाइक स्ट्रेट लाइन मेथड. पर ऐसा होता नहीं. प्रैक्टिस में क्या होता है, वो रिड्यूस्ड वैल्यू पे रहता है. तो दैट विल बी ट्रीटेड टू बी लाइक कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट. And what is the formula for the compound interest? A is equal to P into bracket 1 plus R over 100 that raised to N. यहाँ क्या होता है, इंटरेस्ट में आपको इंटरेस्ट मिलता है. You are gaining the interest. Therefore that R is going to be positive. But in depreciation you are losing the value. So the only difference that will happen is this plus will become minus because you are losing that value. And therefore, what is the formula for the depreciation that will emerge? A is equal to P into 1 minus R over 100 that raised to N. अभी जरा समझो. Now you are experienced people. Correct ना? I know I'm insulting you, हंसते क्या है? Now you are experienced people, so you know this R upon 100 is also written as I. It is just a matter of what notation. तो फिर क्या होगा कि A is equal to P into bracket 1 minus I bracket raised to N. So A upon P is equal to 1 minus I bracket raised to N. Therefore, A upon P that raised to 1 upon N is 1 minus I. समझा ना? And therefore all what happens is I is equal to 1 minus A upon P and that raised to 1 upon N. ये फॉर्मूला आपने यूज किया है अकाउंट्स में. It is nth root. Raised to 1 upon n means what? Nth root. This formula you have used in accounts. So what is used in accounts, and if at all you pass foundation, what you would be using in costing and financial management and all the subjects I had in intermediate and final, base जो होता है वो mathematics में होता है. I have shown how that formula is derived. How is that formula derived? That I have shown you. बराबर ना? And therefore try to understand the importance. That is why mathematics is there in the syllabus. It is not to give you, make your life tougher and more difficult and unbearable. It is introduced because it is something to, and therefore that much weightage is given to this chapter. 10 to 12 marks weightage is given. But anyway, this is a revision batch, and therefore let me curtail my discussion over here. Finally, what is the formula that is emerged? A is equal to P into bracket 1 minus R over 100 bracket raised to N. So write down somewhere. Although it is printed over there, write it that the formula for depreciation is A is equal to P into 1 minus R over 100 that raised to N. समझा? If that is true, tell me what is P? What is P? Present value. What is A? So present value generally in this case will represent the price you are paying. Machine is bought for 1 lakh rupees. 1 lakh rupees is the present value. What is A? That A is basically the future value. That A is the future value. But when I say future value, you know that is the depreciated value. That is the depreciated value. Now, if you are selling off your calculator, if you are disposing it off, then same A will become the scrap value. Same A will now become the scrap value for which you will be scrapping it out. By the way, this will be the book value because this much value will be entered in your books of accounts. So it is the book value. They can use any wording. You must know all the terms. Basic formula is same, but what is the interpretation? That interpretation must be clear. Will be pretty clear. Now, what is R? Now, it is not R is rate of interest, but it is the rate of depreciation percent per annum. Now, what is N? N is the period. Now, suppose you are scrapping it out. When you sell that calculator to somebody who's junior, for you, life of that calculator is over. But for the new buyer, that calculator will still have the life of the calculator. So, life of calculator is not finished. But for you, it is finished. Is that clear? For you, it is finished because you have sold it out. And therefore, this N is also called the effective life of that machine. E is the effective life of that machine, not effective life. So what is N? Effective life. That is treated to be the effective life in case if you are selling it out. By the way, P is the present value, A is the future value. Now which one will be greater? P is greater or A is greater? Value कम होती है ना? and therefore P will be greater than A. Now, if that is true, P minus A is nothing but the depreciation. Is nothing but the depreciation. Is that clear? That is known as the depreciation. अभी इसमें एक बात समझने की कोशिश करो, छोटे 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 पॉइंट्स होते हैं, बट अगर ये छोटे छोटे पॉइंट्स आपको क्लियर नहीं होते हैं तो फिर इन द एग्जामिनेशन हॉल दे बिकम द माइटी प्रॉब्लम्स. लुक एट मी. तो फिर समझने की कोशिश करो, ऑल दोज आर ऑनलाइन ऑल्सो, दैट P is greater than A, so P minus A is going to be what? Depreciation. अभी मैंने ऐसा कहा that the value of the calculator reduces by 20%. And I say value of the calculator reduces to 20%. By and to is not the mathematical problem, but it is the linguistic problem of English. Value of the calculator goes down by 20%, goes down to 20%. क्या फर्क है? When you say your present age is what? 18. That 18 age increases by 3 years. Increases by 3 years. And it will go to 21 years. It will increase by 3 years. क्योंकि ये by and to इसमें गड़बड़ होती है, confusion होता है, jumbling होता है. Increases by 3 years to go to what? 21. So by का मतलब होगा reduction. By का मतलब होगा that much reduction is there. Okay, it will be reducing by that much. And 2 means that will be the reduced value. That will be the reduced value remaining after. So this is the reduction and this is the reduced value. So what will be the consequence? When highlight it. What will be the consequence? In the first case, what happens is, P is P. And reduction is 20%, means 20% of P. So how much will be the value remaining? It will be 80% of P. समझा क्या? Reduced down by 20%. ना? So what is the remaining value? 80%. Is that clear? And in the second case, what happens? P is P. Now it goes to 20%. That means A will be equal to 20% of P. Remaining value is 20%. Parano ye nahi samjha. So it is going to be a problem in the examination hall. So ye likho, by means reduction and to means after reduction remaining value. So that is the reduced value. छोटे छोटे पॉइंट्स, बड़ी बड़ी अहमियत. आज जो छोटा है वो कल बड़ा होने वाला. इंपॉर्टेंस. प्रॉब्लम डाउट नहीं ना? ऑर्डर ना? Okay, now if that is true, let me consider the problems. If that is true, let me consider the problems. See the problem. The value of the car, or for that matter, look at this. Aishwarya, did something. Aishwarya did what? Aishwarya does what? Aishwarya purchased a machine for rupees 15,000. What is 15,000? You have bought that machine for 15,000. So what is 15,000? P. Sold it for 7,300. What is 7,300? A. The rate of depreciation being 8.5%. What is 8.5? R. And what is the effective life of the machine? So what is to be found? N. Now, if that is true, first of all, what is given? P is equal to 15,000. A is equal to 7,300. Our rate of depreciation is 8.5. You have to find N is what? Now, whatever method we use for finding the period in case of the interest, same method will be working out here. Only thing is that plus has become minus. So all what will happen is 7,300 will be equal to 15,000 because that is P. 1 minus 8.5 over 100, that raised to N. So 7,300, that divided by 15,000, and that is equal to, now 1 minus 8.5 over 100 is 0.085. 1 minus, if you do it, then it will be 0.915. That raised to N. By the way, 7,300 upon 15,000 is what? And therefore log of 0.48666, that divided by log of 0.915 is the value of N. By the way, यहाँ जो log आएगा वो negative में आएगा. But it will be negative up in the numerator as well as in the denominator. So anywhere negative will become positive. Period cannot be negative, na? But negative will become positive. Log is negative. Find out. Go ahead. Move your fingers fast. पहला log कितना आया? Minus 0.31275. Second log 0.03857. Now tell me how much is this? Tell me now how much is this? 8.17 or what? 8.10. 8.10. So that is what? 8 years and 1 month. So 8 years and 1 month में ये depreciation होगा. And then my question to you is, it's not asked, but if I ask, how much is the depreciation? Depreciation is P minus A, na? So that is equal to 15,000. Less 7,300, that much will be the depreciation. Clear? Say yes. कहो ना समझ गया. Is that clear? So depreciation will be there using this concept. Now, see the 26th question. Value of the machine reduced to 30 पे. ये हो गया ना? ये हो गया कि नहीं हो गया? हो गया. So if you see the 26th question, value of the machine reduced to 30%. And in the 27th question, they are saying value of the machine reduced by 30%. To and by. तो क्या करेंगे? तो क्या करेंगे? In the first question, what will you do? 26th question, what will you do? P is P. अभी 2 है. So A will be equal to 30% of P. That means this is 0.3 P. Is that clear? And that is happening in the period of what? 8 years. And you have to find out R is equal to what? So how will that go? This will be 0.3 P is equal to P. 1 minus R we don't know. That raised to 8. PP cut. 0.3 raised to 1 upon 8 is 1 minus R over 100. Now time starts here. हमने दिया है वक्त, आपको बनना है सख्त. All those who are online, please do it. Do it sincerely. Do it with full attention. I am with you. In case if you have any doubt, you can send it. No problem. ऑनलाइन का मतलब निगलेक्टेड ऐसा एटलीस्ट मेरे क्लास में होने वाला नहीं है. 0.3 raised to 1 upon 8 is 1 minus r over 100. How much is 0.3 raised to 1 upon 8? 0.8386. 86029. That is 1 minus r over 100. Therefore, r over 100 is 1 minus 0.86029. And then r is equal to 100 into something. You will get an answer you want. Is that point? 13.97% per annum. That is the rate of depreciation. Clear? Any question? Any question? No question. होना भी नहीं चाहिए because this is very simple. Clear? How is the Zosh? How is the Zosh? Oh. Hi, sir. करो 27 क्वेश्चन. अभी क्या है? वैल्यू ऑफ द मशीन रिड्यूस बाय 30%. Reduced by 30%. Value of the machine reduced by 30%. So what does that mean? P is P. Now reduction is 30%. Reduction is 30% of P. And therefore A will be 70% of P. And therefore A is 0.7 P. बाकी procedure same है. करो. Leave it to you to try. Try and try, but don't cry. Try and try, but don't cry. Problem चुकणं शक्यच नाही. कितो आयो? कितो आयो? NR कितो आयो? 9.48% पर एनम. थोड़ा सा रिपीटिशन होगा, दोहराएंगे. इस प्रॉब्लम को 1 मिनट में खत्म करना ये एक्सपेक्टेड ही नहीं है. समझा? मैंने क्या कहा? ऑन एन एवरेज 1 मिनट है आपके पास एक क्वेश्चन के लिए. बट इस चैप्टर के जो क्वेश्चंस हो गए डेफिनेटली इज गोइंग टू टेक लॉन्गर टाइम, लॉन्गर देन व्हाट 1 मिनट. लेकिन स्टैटिस्टिक्स सेक्शन में जो सेव करेंगे वो यहाँ यूज करेंगे. Is that over? Okay. 28 क्वेश्चन आई लीव इट टू यू टू ट्राई. थोड़ा सा सोचो. सब रेडीमेड मिलेगा, रेडीमेड स्टफ मिलेगा तो इसकी वैल्यू नहीं समझेगी. थोड़ा सा पढ़ो, थोड़ा सा सोचो, थोड़ा सा समझो, थोड़ा सा बोलो, थोड़ा सा लिखो. Go start. Go start now. Value of the car is 2,25,000. Rate of depreciation is given. How much was the value of that machine 5 years ago? How much was the value of the machine 5 years back? थोड़ा सा सोचो क्या दिया है, क्या निकालना है. दिया क्या है और निकालना क्या है, ये समझना चाहिए ना. How much was the value of the machine 5 years ago? तो डील आज मोबाइल फोन रख के जाएंगे, डील? हम सर्च हिस्ट्री चेक करेंगे, डील? सोच के बोलो, पहले डिलीट मत करो वो सर्च हिस्ट्री, जैसा है वैसा रखो। हाँ। Online students, you can show the search history to me online, no problem. लेकिन कहीं ऑनलाइन वो सर्च हिस्ट्री दिखाते समय ऑनलाइन जो देखा था वही शुरू हो गया तो गड़बड़ होगा। ओके, हियर वी स्टार्ट। सी, आज के लिए कल फ्यूचर है। फॉर टुडे, टुमारो इज अ फ्यूचर, बट फॉर यस्टरडे, टुडे इज अ फ्यूचर, and we have to find the yesterday's value. That means actually we have to find out the present value, and this value given 2,25,000 will now become A. इन रियल सेंस ये आज की वैल्यू है, बट कल के हिसाब से ये आज क्या हो गया, फ्यूचर हो गया। एंड देन R is given 7.8% rate of period is given to be what, 5 years, and therefore 2,25,000 is equal to P 1 minus 7.8 over 100 that raised to 5. So 2,25,000 is equal to P. Now 0.078, how much is remaining value? 0.9922, and this is raised to 5. तो ये कैलकुलेट करो फिर, 2,25,000 that divided by 0.922 raised to 5 will happen to be the value of P. 3,37,700 is the value. Now, in fact, that was the value 5 years back, and today's value is 2,25,000. आज के लिए कल फ्यूचर, यस्टरडे के लिए आज फ्यूचर। आज जो है वो प्रेजेंट है, कल जो था वो एक्स था, और उसके पहले जो था वो डबल एक्स था। Normally we take the students for the long picnic at Goa, okay? 4 days long picnic. When I say 4 days, 4 nights are also there. So once what happened during the picnic, one girl told me that this girl, her present is there. वो वहाँ जो आइसक्रीम खा रहा है ना, वो एक्स है। वो जो उधर चल रहा है वो उसके पहले का एक्स है। बोलो इसके पहले का एक्स कहाँ गया? नहीं, वो क्या उधर है? फैंटास्टिक। हो गया? Okay. In that case, look then at a very important problem, pair of problems, couple of problems. Today you have the couple of problems. After few days you will have problems of couple. Very good question. Extremely good question. Go start now. थोड़ा सा सोचो. Start. Value of the machine was 1/3 of its value after 7 years. क्या मतलब है? सोचो. You can do that question. You can do that question. अपने confidence level को बढ़ाओ. Value of the machine is 1/3 of its value after 7 years. क्या मतलब है? P is P and A is 1/3 P, 1/3 of P. and rate of interest is to be found. N is given to be 7. सोचो करो. Left to you to try. Meaning समझा क्या? इसका मीनिंग आपको समझा है क्या? कहो ना समझ गया. क्या हो गया? काय झालं? तो ये एक्स अगर लार्ज है, उसके पहले का एक्स लार्ज है, तो एक्सएल, डबल एक्सएल, ट्रिपल एक्सएल लार्ज म्हणजे जाऊ दे. प्रेस करो पर केयरफुली प्रेस करो कैलकुलेटर. प्रेस करता येत नाही. Okay, look at me. So P is P. Therefore P is P. Look at P. P is P. A is 1/3 of P. And 1/3 of P means 0.333333 P. That is happening in the period of 7 years. And then you're supposed to find the value of R. So 0.33333P is equal to P 1 minus R over 100 that raised to 7. So PP cut. Therefore 0.333333 that raised to 1 upon 7 is the value of 1 minus R over 100. Now how much is this value? 0.333. 0.85476, and that is equal to 1 minus R over 100. So R over 100 is 1 minus 0.85476, and therefore R comes to be 14 point something, 14.53% approximately, या 52% जो भी है. समझा? Is that clear? अभी ये जो नेक्स्ट वाला क्वेश्चन है, क्वेश्चन नंबर 3030 is extremely good, but before that, first let us read and then we will write a note on that. Paper setters love the variations. What did I promise you on the day one? All variations, those are possible, will be covered in the class. Samjha? That's my commitment with you. Read. A person purchased a machine for rupees 10,000. That's fine. What is 10,000? P. कुछ तो बोलो ना, कुछ तो कहो. ये वन वे अफेयर नहीं चलने वाला. You have to talk. So P is what? 10,000. It depreciated 7% for the first 3 years. Stop talking. 9% for the next 2 years. So there is a chain of rates of depreciation. Samjha? In that case, what will I do? So whenever, write down the note somewhere. Whenever there are variations in the rate of interest, when there are variations in the rates of interest or depreciation, rates of interest or depreciation, we make the chain of terms. We make chain of terms. हाँ, ये कैसे होता है, क्यों होता है, that we had seen in the regular lecture. I'll not go into that. Today we are exam oriented. Clear? क्या मतलब है इसका? चेन ऑफ टर्म्स का मतलब क्या है? देखो मेरी तरफ. यहां क्या हो रहा है कि यू वांट टू फाइंड ए. देखो मेरी तरफ. यू हैव टू फाइंड व्हाट? ए. That A is equal to P. How much is P? 10,000. Now, in the first case, it will be 1 minus 7% means 7 over 100 that raised to 3. Then it will be multiplied by 1 minus 9%. And 9% means that raised to 2 for how many? 2 years. And they are asking you how much will be the scrap value at the end of the 5th year, after 5 years. And therefore, all what will happen is, all what would happen is, all what would happen is, make the terms. All what happens is that this is equal to 10,000 into, it will be 0.93 raised to 3, 0.91 raised to 9, raised to 2 for that matter. अभी इसको कैसे करेंगे कैलकुलेटर पे? Don't try to get it 0.93 raised to 3, then write it. Instead of that, it will just be 10,000 into 0.93 into 0.93 into 0.93 3 times, multiplied by 0.91 multiplied by 0.91. You get the accurate answer, exact answer. You would get second bracket will be added. No, my dear, the second bracket is multiplied. You are finding A, na? It's not added. Why added? Why added? It's multiplied. Huh, what is that? 666 0.8. Is that clear? Logic बताओ. Somebody is asking online why not it is added. Logic बताओ. देखो मेरे तरफ. Stop writing. Here we start. This is P. Here we start. And you know this is P. For the first year. For the year 1, for the year 2, for the year 3, rate of depreciation is 7%. What I would do is, I will find out the value at the end of the third year. Tell me what will be the value at the end of the third year. That will be A will be equal to that P which was 10,000 into 1 minus 7 over 100 that raised to 3. This will be the value after 3 years. Do you agree? Yes. Now what is A at the end of the third year is going to become P for the fourth year. Closing balance of third year will become opening balance of fourth year. So ये पूरा का पूरा P बनेगा for the fourth year. And then what happens is for this year it is what 9%, for this year it is 9%. So ये पूरा P multiplied by 1 minus 9 over 100 that raised to 2 will become eventual A. समझा? So it is multiplication. It's a chain of brackets. Multiplication of chain of brackets. ये समझा आपको? तो take up one more question. Take up the question, additional question. लिखो कहीं तो भी. जगह बना लो. अगर कागज पे नहीं तो दिल में सही. और जगह बनाते ही हो दिल में तो फिर कागज की कोई जरूरत नहीं. Start. Take up the question. A person deposited rupees 1 lakh. A person deposited rupees 1 lakh in the bank. That gives 5% per annum for the first 2 years. 5% per annum for the first 2 years. 7% per annum for the next 3 years. 7% per annum for the next 3 years. And 8% for the 8% per year for the further 5 years. 8% per year for further the period of how many? 5 years. How much will he receive after 5 years? How much will he receive after 5 years? How much will he receive after 5 years? करेंगे? Now this is the problem of depreciation or interest? Interest. But procedure is same. You have to make the chain of terms. You need to make the chain of terms. So what will be A? P is 1 lakh. Then it will be 1 plus now 5 over 100 for the period of 2 years. Then 1 plus 7% for the period of 3 years. And 1 plus 8% for the period of 5 years. So this is going to be 1 lakh into 1.05 raised to 2, 1.07 raised to 3, 1.08 raised to 5. Huh. No. 8% per annum for the further 5 years, I said. What is the value after? No, make it 10 years. Make it 10 years. Of course, there is a period of 10 years. No? Find the value of after 10 years. Make a change. Modify because these are the days of modification. समझो समझा करो. So it is going to be 1 lakh into 1.05 into 1.05 into 1.07, 1.07, 1.07 into 1.08, 1.08 5 times. कितना आयो? 1 lakh 98,449 449. Very good. Very good means इसमें क्या इजी है? त्यात काही कौतुक नाही. समझ गया क्या? ये आपको समझा है क्या? Very good. Now we are going to start with the essence of this chapter. That's annuity. Look at me. Some beautiful questions in annuity. Applied questions in annuity. For that matter, look at me. कोई भी कुछ भी बोलेगा नहीं, कोई भी कुछ भी बोलेगी नहीं. Everyone has to stay focused on the discussion now. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Imagine. Stay focused. Imagine you open a recurring bank account. Stay focused, because if the basics are not clear, then there is going to be a problem whether to find P or A. That becomes a difficulty later on. We are starting from the scratch of the concept. You open a recurring bank account, and there you enter into an agreement with the bank that you are going to deposit 100 rupees every year, 100 rupees per year, or 100 rupees per quarter, 100 rupees per half year, per month, whatever. But suppose it is per year, for the period of 5 years. For the period of 5 years. Then you make a first payment of 100 rupees, you make the second payment of 100 rupees, you make the third payment of 100 rupees, you make the fourth payment of 100 rupees, you make the fifth payment of 100 rupees. 5 years are over. How much money have you given to the bank? How much money in totality you have given to the bank in aggregate? 500 rupees. एक और concept नहीं समझा तो फिर you will be inviting for the third attempt. So you are paying in all 500 rupees to the bank. अभी 5 साल पूरे हो गए. आपका पैसा कितना है? 500. Bank will add interest to that. And after adding the interest for the period of 5 years, you are going to receive the value in the future. You are going to receive the value in the future. Try to understand, please. But imagine you have purchased some commodity, and for that you have borrowed the loan from the bank. आपने बैंक से लोन लिया है. अभी लोन लेने पे बैंक क्या कहेगा? मेरे को इंटरेस्ट दो. अभी इंटरेस्ट दो, that interest will either be a simple interest or the compound interest. देखो मेरे तरफ प्लीज. लेकिन सिंपल इंटरेस्ट और कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट में क्या होता है कि योर लोन अमाउंट plus interest accrued for the period of 5 years, in total you are going to repay that amount after 5 years. You will be making a payment one stroke after 5 years. Single sum repayment करेंगे. जितना भी लोन था और जिसमें इंटरेस्ट जितना भी कैलकुलेट हुआ है वो सब 5 साल के बाद, 3 साल के बाद, 4 साल के बाद, 10 साल के बाद आप टोटल पे करेंगे. पर इसमें होता क्या है, 5 साल के बाद आप पे करेंगे, तब तक आप भाग गए तो. इफ योर नेम इज विजय माल्या एंड इफ यू रन अवे टू व्हाट इज कॉल्ड यूके, then who will repay this money? So for bank, on the interest basis it becomes a risk. So what does the bank say? We are not going to wait for 5 years. Every year you have to pay an installment. Every year you need to pay an installment. Now suppose the bank tells you to pay 100 rupees is the first installment, 100 rupees is the second installment, 100 rupees is the third installment, and that you are supposed to pay for the period of 5 years. So again you are paying 100, 100, 100, how many times? 500, 500 rupees you have paid. But अभी मेरे को बोलो, आप जब ये 500 rupees बैंक को देते हो, तो आपका लोन रिपेमेंट खत्म हो गया. बट सिर्फ लोन खत्म हो गया क्या? हैव यू रीपेड ओनली द लोन अमाउंट? यू हैव रीपेड लोन अमाउंट प्लस इंटरेस्ट देयर ऑन. तो ये जो 500 रुपीज का सम होगा, दैट विल बी योर लोन अमाउंट प्लस इंटरेस्ट देयर ऑन. तो लोन कब लेते हो? आज. लोन कब लेते हो? मतलब टुवर्ड्स द बिगिनिंग. And therefore this loan amount is the present value. हमेशा ध्यान में रखो, P is not the price, P is the present value. कहाँ कंफ्यूजन होता है? एन्युटी के प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करते समय एग्जामिनेशन हॉल में कंफ्यूजन कहाँ होता है, जमलिंग कहाँ होता है? That I am pointing out. So P is not the price, but P is the present value, and in this case it is the loan amount. अब ये लोन अमाउंट 500 रुपीज से ज्यादा होगा, करेक्ट ना? ये लोन अमाउंट 500 रुपीज से ज्यादा होगा. तुम्हारा डोका है का? ये लोन अमाउंट 500 रुपीज से ज्यादा होगा या कम होगा? खरं डोकं आहे. अरे बावळट, हे बघा, 500 you are repaying loan plus interest. That means your loan amount plus interest thereupon, that total is 500. आता कम हो गया, पर हिंदी कम ना, हिंदी का कम ना, कम हो गए. अभी अभी सेम टू यू. अभी loan amount will be this 500 minus the interest thereon. 500 minus the interest thereon will be the loan amount. So loan amount will be lesser value. Please. तो यहां कुछ कुछ होता है, और ये कुछ कुछ ऐसा होता है कि whether it is the loan problem or it is the deposit problem, in both the cases what is happening, you are paying something per month, per quarter, per half year, per year. In this case we said per year. What you pay per year, what you pay per half year, what you pay per quarter, what you pay per month is annuity. So what is annuity? It is a payment made on installment basis, part by part. समझा? So what is annuity? Annuity is the installment paid in case of loan. डिपॉजिट के केस में हम उसको इंस्टॉलमेंट नहीं कहेंगे. डिपॉजिट के केस में हम क्या कहेंगे? डिपॉजिट पर मंथ, डिपॉजिट पर ईयर, डिपॉजिट पर क्वार्टर. एनीवे that is known as annuity, denoted say by what? X. That is denoted by what? X. So what is X? X is what? Annuity. समझा क्या तुमको? X is annuity. How many times you are paying? 100, 100, 100. How many times you are paying? There we say N is equal to 5. Now that 5 can be years, 5 can be months, 5 can be quarters, 5 can be half years, anyway. Now rate of interest is stated. Suppose that rate of interest is stated to be 10% per annum. But 10% का मतलब क्या होता है? 10% का मतलब क्या होता है? 10 upon 100. That 10 upon 100 means R upon 100 is denoted by a letter I. So that is the fractional rate of interest. So I is equal to this. अभी होता है क्या? What it means is that you are paying XXXXXX. Need म्हणायचं XXXX. You are paying X. You are paying X. You are paying X. You are paying X. XXXXXX. How many times you are paying? No. In general, how many times you are paying? N times. Therefore, when you make a payment N times, how much is the total money you are paying? X into N. 100 into 5, 500 था ना? वैसे X into N. ये मनी आपने पे किया. अभी लोन के प्रॉब्लम में क्या होगा? लोन के प्रॉब्लम में क्या होगा? That present value loan will be XN minus interest. आपने जो पैसा भरा है दैट में से इंटरेस्ट अगर कंपोनेंट रिड्यूस करेंगे, सब्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे, तो फिर आपको क्या मिलेगा? लोन अमाउंट मिलेगा. एंड दैट P is given by the formula X upon I. If you remember, I told you the logic of this formula, but at present I am not going to write it. 1 plus I raised to minus N. और अगर यही प्रॉब्लम डिपॉजिट का हो तो फिर आपको XN प्लस इंटरेस्ट मिलेगा ना? So that is going to be the future value, and that future value is computed by the formula X over I 1 plus I raised to N minus 1. ये टेबल आपके अगर दिमाग में अच्छी तरीके से बैठता है तो फिर ये कंफ्यूजन होगा नहीं कि P निकालना है या A निकालना है. वेरी सिंपल. लोन के प्रॉब्लम में क्या निकालना है? P. एंड डिपॉजिट के प्रॉब्लम में क्या निकालना है? A. Why? Because you want the future value with interest. कहो ना, समझ गया. लिखो ये टेबल. टेबल को लिखो. Please, is that clear to you? Is that concept clear to you? P and A. P is the loan and A is the future value in case of deposit. आपने जो बैंक को पैसा दिया है वो, उसमें इंटरेस्ट ऐड करके फ्यूचर वैल्यू मिलेगा और इंटरेस्ट सब्ट्रैक्ट करके लोन मिलेगा. Say yes. Say yes. Loudly. Oh. काय होते? Is that clear? Fantastic. Have you written the formula? And then write one more formula. In fact, a pair of formulae. Write a pair of formulae, and that is the relation between P and A. Relation between P and A. Now, what is P? Tell me. What is P? कुछ तो कहो ना. Present value. What is A? Future value. So they are connected by the same compound interest formula. क्योंकि एन्युटी में जो भी रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट होता है वो कंपाउंडेड ही होता है ना. And therefore the first relation between them is A is equal to P into 1 plus R over 100 that raised to N. This is the one formula. This is the one formula connecting present value and future value of annuity. And the second formula is 1 upon P minus 1 upon A is equal to I upon X. क्या फॉर्मूला है? 1 upon P minus 1 upon A is equal to I over X. Now, when do I use the first formula? अभी पहले फॉर्मूला में आपको एन्युटी X की वैल्यू पता नहीं है. You don't know annuity, but you should know what? N. So the first formula is used when? We use this formula when annuity X, annuity means per month, per quarter, annuity X is not given, but the period N is given. And in the second case, do you know N? In the second formula, do you want the value of N or do you know the value of N? No, say no. But what do you know? X. So when do I use this? When annuity X is given. When that annuity X is given, but in that case the period N is not given. Period N is not given. इसे समझने की कोशिश करो, समझो, फिर लिखो. समझो, समझा करो. Clear? So tell me, in case of annuity, what values do we find? In case of purchase problem, loan problem, we find P. And in case of deposit problem, we find A. अभी इसमें एक थोड़ा सा पॉइंट समझो. आपने जो लोन लिया वो क्या है? लोन इज नथिंग बट द प्रेजेंट वैल्यू P. कुछ तो लोन लिया. लेकिन many times what happens, the bank will tell you to make some down payment. Down payment मतलब क्या है? The value that you have to pay at the time of buying that commodity. मोटरसाइकिल लेते हो तो वो कुछ पैसा पहले भरना पड़ता है. तो that down payment, डाउन नहीं, down payment is the money paid at the time of buying, at the time of buying the commodity, purchasing the commodity. समझा? और फिर लोन प्लस डाउन पेमेंट इसको कैलकुलेट करेंगे तो आपको क्या मिलेगा? प्राइस मिलेगा, क्योंकि कुछ ना कुछ प्राइस होता है, प्राइस में से आपने डाउन पेमेंट कुछ किया, बाकी बैलेंस अमाउंट इज द लोन अमाउंट. यार हो गया ना? 100 रुपीज का कैलकुलेटर है, 20 रुपीज यू हैव पेड एज अ डाउन पेमेंट, 80 रुपीज इज योर लोन. इतना सिंपल है. समझा? इज दैट क्लियर? गर्लफ्रेंड को प्रपोज किया, वो प्रपोज करने के बाद गर्लफ्रेंड बन गई. उसने हाँ कहने के बाद उसने अपने उसको कुछ दिया, म्हणजे समझो सोने का रिंग दिया, तो दैट इज लाइक अ डाउन पेमेंट. फिर रोज उसको डेट पे लेके जाएंगे तो रोज बिल भरना पड़ेगा. दैट इज लाइक व्हाट एन्युटी एक्स. समझा ना? तो फिर जितना रोज का बिल होगा उसकी आज की वैल्यू निकालो, एक्स अपॉन आई 1 माइनस 1 प्लस आई रेस टू माइनस एन, वो प्लस वो जो सोने का रिंग दिया है आज, उसकी वैल्यू ऐड करेंगे तो फिर वो गर्लफ्रेंड की प्राइस होगी. गर्लफ्रेंड की प्राइस नहीं होगी, लेकिन डील की प्राइस होगी, प्रपोजल की प्राइस होगी. अभी समझ गए? करेक्ट ना? Good. Problems based on this we'll try tomorrow.